I think it would be mostly to treat, you're not just a realtor and that's just not your job, you're actually running a business. And the sooner you learn that, the easier life becomes because you're sitting there juggling so many balls and there's so much going on in real estate. It's not what the public actually thinks. We don't just show houses and write up an offer. There's so much to it behind the scenes. So you're essentially a tax guy, you're an accountant, you're a marketing specialist. Of course, you are showing houses and selling houses. You're sort of a social media guy. And I'm 54, so social media, it's not my niche. It had to become a little bit because, of course, you need to learn how, unless you're going to hire it out, which I'm doing a lot of now. But yeah, it's mostly to treat your real estate like you're running your own business. So you don't just work when you have work. You should always be working. You should be up and for sure at your desk by 8, whether you have something to do, like a client that you need to do something for or not. There's always work you can do on your business. So that would be my biggest thing, I think, for sure. Yeah, so as far as where I work, I'll work anywhere as long as I'm kind of excited for the opportunity. But I prefer, like if I had my ideal everything, then I would either work in Northwest Calgary or Cochrane. Rather than, say, heading down south and driving through traffic for 40 minutes, I would love just to go down the highway 20 minutes from where I live to get to Cochrane. I know it well. I'm a big proponent of Cochrane. And I was born in the early 70s in Northwest Calgary at the Foothills Hospital. So I know Northwest Calgary intimately, and that's where I work, preferably. But I've had listings as far east as Strathmore. I've sold a few places. Last year I sold a place in Canmore in 12 hours. And I mean, you work all over. Preference would be Northwest Calgary, just convenience, and I know it a little bit better. And yeah, I really like the friendliness and the small town of Cochrane as well. So as far as my ideal property or client to work with, like I said, Northwest Calgary, but I really like doing sort of your upper end detached homes. It really feels special to market a property that you're yourself in love with or really can see. I'm going to treat every single property I list like a luxury listing. I'm going to make sure there's drone photos and all of this. But when you get a property, say, I love bungalows. It's really fun working on estate homes and something you're very proud of. So that's a lot of fun. But when you get something like a bungalow that I would just love to work, there's actually a place in Calgary called Watermark Estates, and there's some villas there that I really like as well. Yeah. And those are just fun. It's fun working with those places because there's a view of the mountains and you get to show that off. And if you can catch it on a perfect day, especially in the winter when the mountains are just so crisp, that's a lot of fun, getting the drone out and taking pictures and really doing your best work you can do. I really like marketing a home. That's fun, especially when you have a fantastic home. And it's so special when the homeowner has a bit of talent as far as a design perspective and they know what they're doing. If not, I always bring in my girl and she can make your house look as special as it can be. But yeah, when you get in a home that just feels great, that's a lot of fun because, you want your home at the end of the day to look like a show home. There's a reason new properties always have the furniture and everything looking just right because you're selling a dream, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing in particular that I would or wouldn't take, but to do a semi-detached or a detached home in the upper range is a lot of fun, and that's what I kind of aim for. My most unique sold story. I think almost every realtor will tell you if you plan to go on a trip, you're going to sell a house while you're away on vacation. It's Murphy's Law. So, I've sold houses, really difficult getting, Wi-Fi or cell phone signal, and been in Mexico. I've been in Panama selling a house. And generally, when you're away, you have someone covering your stuff. But when it comes down to negotiating and you're representing your client, you really want to do it yourself. So often you will be. And it's Murphy's Law. You'll be, I can't tell you a holiday that I've been on that I haven't. You might go 2 months sometimes. You might sell 40 homes in a year. But you could go 2 months without selling a house. But if you want to sell a house and you need to, you better go on a trip because it happens almost every time. So book a holiday. But yeah, I don't know if I guess one time I was kind of touring the Thousand Islands on a Sea-Doo, and I was working on a deal on my cell phone. So that might be the most unique. You have America on one side and Canada on the other side, and you're actually crossing under a bridge. And I believe it's Buffalo on the right, Ontario on the left, of course. I was visiting my parents, and I was getting toured around and doubled on a Sea-Doo by my brother. And I had my cell phone in my hand, and of course, I was on a trip, so you're selling a house. So that's probably the most unique right there. As far as systems, and structure. And that goes back to also one of the things that I wish I would have known and had organized 20 years ago when I became a realtor is systems are so important, because when you get so busy, you just have so much going on. It's absolutely overwhelming. So it's so important to have your systems in place. So at KIC we have our CRM at KIC, or our customer relationships manager. I have my marketing all handled. I do some on my own, but basically I have a team that does my marketing. And then when you're doing your deal, I have an assistant who's just amazing named Aura, and her and I have we have a Santa set up. So when I'm busy, I can just throw anything to her, and she gets it. She gets everything organized for me. Every time you're under pressure to write a deal, that it's probably best I can't remember it, and I only dropped them a year ago, but it fails, it breaks down all the time, so I had to switch. But yeah, just it's structure. It's Google Drive. The Google Drive was the biggest thing I ever implemented, because it's basically a filing system on your phone that just keeps everything in place. And when you actually are doing things, you got to put it in there, because when the time comes and if it's not in that file, you're screwed. So Google Drive is probably my biggest tool to keep things organized. So if someone was to follow my career for the next 5 years, the things that I would consistently show up for would be four things, I guess. My clients, more importantly, clients, my family and my dog, and then fourth would be for golf. So I'm a member at the Bearspaw Golf and Country Club in Bearspaw, Calgary, just outside of Calgary, and that's kind of my favorite leisure time in life. I try to golf 4 times a week, sometimes more often 3, but try 4. And I like to be out at about 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, so I can get back to work quickly. But and then my parents are quite elderly now, with my dad being 85 and my mom being 83. And so they're in Ontario, but I'll be out here at least 4 times a year helping out. And yeah, depending, my mom might have to at some point move to Calgary and just go into assisted living. And if that's the case, I'll be visiting her every day, or at least 6 days of the week. And my dog Carl's my favorite thing in the world. Yeah. So he's 14. He's still like a puppy. And we walk every day, so you'll see that. And then the next 5 years, To be honest, in the next 5 years, as far as real estate, I actually hope to be sort of a little bit. I would say in 5 years from now, I'd like to be winding down just a touch. So maybe just a little bit, not this year or next year or the next year, but in 5 years, maybe a touch pickier about what I'm taking as far as listings. But there's six guys, six people beneath me in our system right now. So I'd love to have the ability to hand more off to the guys that are under me that need work that I truly believe in. I'm never going to hand a client over to someone that I don't think is great, but everyone that is with me on my team are just fantastic. Different skill sets, each one of them. So that's a unique opportunity right there, is to hand certain listings or certain buyers to whoever might skill set it might fit the best. But yeah, I very much still want to be working in 5 years, maybe just not quite as hard. But yeah, maybe just thinking about family a little bit more in 5 years, you know what I mean? So, what I would like to leave behind or impact, I just, for me, I come from the restaurant industry. I actually stayed in the restaurant industry right through until 2019. I was only working one night a week, but I was still there because I just enjoyed it. And I've been a realtor since 2004. But I did just keep my toe in the restaurant industry. And one of the biggest things I've learned through that is just how to deal with people. And I think that's something I would just like to pass on, because I think there's a lot of customer service missing these days. You go to Tim Hortons and you may get past a coffee, but no one's even said thank you or looked you in the eyes. I just think that's so important, and it's really it's going away so quickly. It's nice, I'm out here at my parents' right now, and it's a really small town, and you see that here. But in the bigger city, you don't see it as much. So I really think customer service is just a big thing, and I would like to pass that on to the other realtors that I'm with, although they are excellent as well. But yeah, I mean, the realtors with KIC are generally very good, and I don't know, if there's people that really aren't friendly out there, because I've worked with a lot of them, or meet them, or we meet for coffee or events, and they're just fantastic. So I'm not sure if that's passing that on, but it's just the legacy that I would like to have, friendliness. And yeah, I try to stay in touch with my clients afterwards as well. You don't have room for every single client to become a close friend, but keeping a relationship, it's good for business, and it's just nice to have in life. So I'm not sure if I really properly answered that question, but yeah, that's how I feel. So why did I move to KIC? The biggest thing was the people. So I was looking for some more camaraderie, and the fact that we're a hybrid brokerage, so we are online, but we have an office, we have in-person meetings. That's what I was looking for. So I really like the model that I was at before, but this seems to be that model plus human contact. So I really like to get to know the people that I work with. I want to be part of a team. Now that I still work independently on my own with my group, but at the same time, we're all realtors with KIC. Now it's a little bit smaller, and that's something I really liked. I don't know everyone, but through going to all the events, you get to know the people, and I'm starting to feel, very comfortable and at home. And I have a lot of friends at the brokerage, and then, with what's going on in America right now, it is so good to be a truly Canadian-only brokerage. I like that a lot. I'm a proud Canadian. So that is something that's, I think, important to me. So if there's people out there just looking for something that, they don't want to support anything that isn't Canadian, well, we're a great one to look at. But I know a lot of the realtors that I work with, and there's some I could label off 10 right now, just off the tip of my hand, that I would absolutely use if I wasn't available. I'd be my first pick, of course. But, if you're not looking in Calgary, maybe somewhere up in Edmonton or something. I won't go there. Anyways, I don't know. I do know, our broker, our initial broker, Willie Yip, is just fantastic. And, we have great systems. There's a lot of help. And it's not anonymous help of just someone on the other end of the line or on the other end of an email. You actually know these people with KIC. So I really enjoy that. I love the size of our brokerage. We might be beyond the size of being a boutique brokerage, but we're not a massive brokerage where you barely know anyone at all. And of course, like I said, we meet in person. So I just think I finally found my home. Like, I'm happy. I also really like the stock options. I mean, that is going to be my retirement. I have other venues for planning my retirement, but the fact that shares are at 15 cents, and that is just sort of where they're sitting right now until we go to possibly an IPO or some other form. I've collected a lot of shares. I love the fact that we can take 5% off our commissions and contribute to more shares. It's sort of like someone just having a pension, which is not normally available in sort of the old school brokerages. What does a realtor get at the old school brokerages? So this was a no-brainer for me. And fortunately, 2 years down the road now, just over 2 years, I feel that I made the right choice, and I'm very happy with it. This is Rob Whitfield from Calgary, Alberta with KIC Realty. Thank you for listening to my story, and I look forward to hearing yours. Have a fantastic day.